Okay, welcome to the second day of our event. If we could have the slides for the introduction. I'm Gary Miller. I'm one of the members of the committee, and I'm serving as moderator for this morning's debates. I'm going to serve as the MC, moderator, referee, whatever it is I have to do. I'm going to go over a few ground rules, an introduction first. So these debates were designed by the Planning Committee to foster focused dialogue on specific topics related to causal inference with respect to environmental exposures and human health. And so it's really kind of going beyond the sort of case study thing, but really thinking about some of the real issues where causal inference comes into play. So for each topic, we have 35 minutes. The opening remarks will be made by each of the discussants 10 to 12 minutes, and then they'll have a chance for a quick rebuttal. The floor will then be open to the group if there are comments from the audience for clarification, kind of the urgent points. But the majority of the discussion will be saved for the panel discussion. So we have three scenarios, one on mercury and cardiovascular health, one on read-across with in vitro data on a specific chemical, and then the application of human cell-based assays and toxicity testing and the use of animals. And then the idea is have the panel discussion to identify unifying themes across that at the end. I'd like to read this quote from Michael Cundy. He published this in Environmental Health Perspectives in 2006. I thought it captured much of what we've talked about. Despite its metaphysical character, the principle of causation, or more specifically, the notion that every disease has a cause, has been of great heuristic value and will likely govern our future endeavors for better understanding of the relationships between the environment and human health until we have more knowledge and may describe the process by a system of equations. However, the complexity of the problem may be too great to ever lend itself to complete description. And I think this is why we need to have this sort of discussion. Anytime you describe something with a metaphysical level, it's going to bring on things that should lead to great discussion. I was just looking up some history of debates at the National Academy and came across this press release from 1920 of the great debate over whether or not there was a single galaxy or multiple galaxies. I think there was clear resolution after time of what happened here. Something I also found very interesting was at the end in this press release, it described the authorization of about $1.5 million to build this building. So that was built in 1924, but the money was authorized here in 1920 as part of this press release. So I'm hoping that we have some level of resolution. It won't be as clear as the great debate of 1920, but hopefully we can follow up in that spirit. And an important disclaimer, this is very much an intellectual exercise. The debates are designed to stimulate this candid discussion and present the opposing viewpoints. But the debaters, their views are not necessarily the views of the speaker or the planning committee and should not be taken or quoted as such. So many of them are taking on roles that may be counter to their own thinking, but they're here to structure these arguments and discussions. So again, don't quote, don't tweet out what someone said, holding them to it. We want to keep this open. You can tweet out, promoting the exciting work, just don't quote them on that. So with that, we'll have the first slides. And so the resolution statement here is methylmercury is a contributing cause to cardiovascular disease. This effect should be considered in methylmercury cost-benefit analyses. So that is what's resolved. And so we will start with Gary Ginsberg.